Hello, viewers. I'm Simon Preston, and welcome to Reggae Boys Commentary. It's Thursday evening for the western part of the world, Friday evening, well, Friday morning, where I am. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for tuning in for yet another Thursday right here on Reggae Boys Commentary. Truly, truly appreciate all the support, all the messages that I've been getting. Truly appreciate it. All the updates you guys have been sending me. I'm well aware of what's been happening locally, regionally, and also internationally. So I think it's intriguing that things are starting to rev up a bit. I did ask for patience from you guys concerning this topic, so it's good to know that there are definitely things that are happening, things that are definitely moving. So, like I said, patience and things will certainly fall into place where that is concerned. So, it's good news, and certainly, hopefully, things will start to pick up from year in, but it's still going to require a little bit more patience from our regard as it relates to players and acquiring their passports, etc. So let us begin with managers, shall we? Darren Moore. Darren Moore has departed Doncaster Rovers and has joined Sheffield Wednesday in the English Championship. A shocking move, in my opinion, because he was doing quite a decent job with Doncaster Rovers, top six, top seven in the table, and now looking to push on into the playoffs or perhaps even automatic promotion. But he's taken up this new opportunity also in South Yorkshire, and he has a job on his hand because Sheffield Wednesday are really, really low in the table. They need they're 7 points adrift of safety, and they need points. That's the reality behind it. They need points. Desperately they need points. They need something to really give them a boost. But it's the championship. It's a league that he always wanted to manage in the last 2 years. Post West Brom. So hopefully it's he gets the team the points that they need to get over the line. It's not happy to see it's not good to see the abuse that he has been getting on social media, fans saying that he should be grateful for the opportunity Doncaster Rovers gave him and everything like that. He did brilliant things at Doncaster Rovers, but you can't fault a man for ambition. you know you can't fault a guy for ambition. You can't fault a manager for ambition, because you know it's what drags a person. It's what takes them places. So I don't think you can fault him for his effort. Joby McAnuff, he's now the man in charge at Doncaster Leighton Orient. He is now the man in charge at Leighton Orient. How long will he get? Well, only time will tell, but he's in the hot seat. He's getting the exposure. And for a young man, this is something that I think he will relish, and he can only go from strength to strength in. If he only gets the job until the end of the season or for another season, it's valuable experience. And long may that continue for an individual that I think could be the head coach for the Reggae Boys long term. Woldy Harris. Colorado Rapids assistant coach. Remember, he was one of the assistant coaches in the USL, and now he's taken his opportunity, you could say, to the MLS. So that's why I think this is outstanding, and I think that this is certainly going to be an opportunity where he can continue to make outstanding progress and moves in his career. So for me, it is just great to see that the strides that he has been making is one which is progress. So as long as he continues to make strides in the tactical side of the game, then certainly I think that there's going to be an even more upward step from Wally Harris. So we've talked about managers. Let's talk about players, shall we? We will certainly get on to that. So let's look at that. I'm sure many of you would have seen the interview that Michael Ricketts had with the local media. Let's go right into the matter. Spoke about let's eliminate, shall we? So, based on the interview that you saw, Max Aarons and Nathan Redmond are individuals that have not been approached or have not started the process for Jamaican passports. Intriguingly, when he named out the other names, he said that others have started the process, including Ivan Toney. Now, from my understanding, Ivan Toney and his agent have requested, just like Isaac Hayden, more time to make this decision. Ivan Toney and Brentford are hunting a playoff spot or hunting a Premier League spot. Newcastle United's Isaac Hayden is hunting a spot to survive the Premier League. So that's where their priorities right now remain for these players in particular. So I'm sure you all would have seen reports coming out of England, Max Aarons and Ivan Toney rejecting call-ups. I understand the Max Aarons element is true, but Ivan Toney, similar to Isaac Hayden, is requesting more time because his priorities right now are promotion to the Premier League or securing a Premier League team in the summer to play for. So I feel that it is. I feel that it's for him now to go out there, continue being the most informed number 9 in England, get promoted to the English Premier League, and we could possibly have a Ricky Boy in our hands. Exciting, isn't it? So, Ivan Toney, Isaac Hayden, more time needed. Demarai Gray, the same thing. And the names that we've mentioned quite so often already. Rolanda Aarons has his passport. Liam Moore has his passport. Andre Gray and Kemar Roof are at the final stages of that process. Blair Tugot has his passport. Other names out of that? Well, still more work to be done. Mikel Antonio started the process. Mikel Antonio has started the process, which is great. Like I said in my video yesterday, temper your expectation on all of the names. Why do I say that? I say that not out of pessimism. I say this out of realism because I know in particular what it's like in the process. I know. Don't you guys remember what happened? The 2014 World Cup qualifiers, the final round? James Vaughan, to this point in time, still doesn't have a Jamaican passport. James Vaughan started the process to apply for a Jamaican passport. But guess what? To this day, James Vaughan doesn't have a Jamaican passport, and he was on our radar for the 2014 qualifiers. Marvin Bartley still doesn't have a Jamaican passport. Leon Barnett has it, but guess what? Leon Barnett has the same number of Reggae Boys caps as I. Same number of caps as me. So, like I said, being able to get your passport doesn't guarantee you a cap. And secondly, many things can happen in the process that just stop it. the Jamaican High Commission can be closed for the day. A player can get injured. A player misses an important piece of document. There can be issues where the ink runs out at the High Commission. Murphy's Law, guys, Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. So until the player gets the passport in his hand, just be quietly optimistic. Quietly optimistic. All right? Trust me, I know how this process works. I know how it works. Trust me. It's going to require time. It's going to require patience. And it's going to require all of you. Just get behind the team and trust that the Jamaican High Commission in London will do their job effectively. Trust the process. Don't rush the process. Trust me. And once things do fall into place, I'll be the first to tell you. And once I know for a fact the passport is in their hand, and I know for a fact that the call up is coming, then we can start getting much more optimistic. For now, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Slow down. Slow down. Only Liam Moore, Rolanda Aarons, and Blair Tuckett have the documents, that their passports now. When the rest start coming, you will know. You will know. Take your time, guys. Relax. Relax. Let's see what you guys have been saying in the comments. Any updates on Hamilton? Are you relating to Nicholas Hamilton, who is at Dundee FC? Well, he's certainly going to be heading over to the Canadian Premier League at the end of the season. It's quite unfortunate he has not been able to get a lot of playing time. So I'm just hoping that he learns from this experience, in Scotland, and takes it over to Canada and just shines. Much appreciated, Melvin Levy. Anything on Rovell? Rovell is still making his mind up on the decisions between offers in the Championship and offers also in the Spanish La Liga. Like I said, guys, these things also take time. The right decision, the right terms, the right everything, the lawyers. It's a process, and a process takes time. Sheldon Brooks. Good evening, Simon. How long does it take for the guys to get their passport? Also, can you play in a friendly without your passport? Back in the day, you could have played without a passport. No, even if it's a friendly, you do need one. You do have some teams that play players in a friendly without the passport, but we don't want to get a fine from FIFA. We don't want to get bans from FIFA or anything like that. So get a passport, and then you can play them in whatever game that you want them to. The process can take as quick as 6 weeks, and it can take as long as 1 year, depending on the player in following his duties and getting all the necessary documents that are required. Obviously, the pandemic would delay the process slightly, because you also have Jamaicans that are in the UK renewing their passport as well. And in certain cases, they priority. So the players are not the only ones trying to look to get a passport. There are many, many other people as well. Well, the reality is Bravo Rage Squadron is that I gave the contact information of the JFF towards Isaac Hayden, and Isaac Hayden found out exactly what he needs. And Isaac Hayden now is saying this. When Isaac was speaking to me, he said this. Morning, Simon. We have spoken, the Jamaican FA and myself, but it's a big decision, so I'm taking my time to think over it. Isaac, cheers. There you go, guys. I wouldn't lie to you all. Well, the reality is one, Brogard, it's England. All being well, barring injury, Liam Moore should be, injury or personal reasons, Liam Moore should be able to make his debut against the United States. Worst case scenario, Gold Cup, we'll see him for sure. Yeah, a lot of people were saying about talking about the captain's comments and about players and the committed players and being part of the program, not only for friendly matches but also not only for World Cup qualifiers but also friendlies as well. So, do you guys remember the 2014 World Cup qualifying cycle? Remember when we got to the final round after beating Antigua and Barbuda 4-1? Remember what happened when we went into the final round? Remember we only had two UK born players, 2K based players in their squad in the semi-final round, and that was Adrian Mariappa and that was Naira Nosworthy. Remember what happened when we went into the final round? Marvin Bartley, Joby McAnuff, Gareth McAleary, Jeremy Beckford, Theo Robinson, Daniel Gordon, Sean Cummings, Wes Morgan. That's 8 new faces to the squad. How are they all going to gel? Good players, match winners in their own right. And it looks like a scenario where we're going to have possibly 8 or more new players added to the squad. The good thing here is that we have a Gold Cup where we can utilize, which we will utilize, to give the players an opportunity to gel, have chemistry, cohesion, and be able to settle in. There wasn't a settling period in 2013. There wasn't. Not at all. But now we have this opportunity. And you remember that time there was a local players or Jamaican born players as well. Remember, we didn't see Lovell Palmer for the rest of the World Cup qualifying campaign. We didn't see Jason Morrison either for the rest of the World Cup qualifying campaign. No Joel Senior. Ryan Johnson, who went from a starter to being a squad player. Yeah. That's the reality. Of course, Naira Nosworthy's injury didn't help because the wheels fell off after that. But yeah, There will be some animosity. Well, is animosity right where there will be some fear? But guess what? For me, the best player should take in the opposition, beat them, you ensure that you get the best out of the squad that you put out on the field. So that is exactly my hope, that we can be able to neutralize the opposition. Yeah, like I said before, in terms of the Ravel Morrison, Ravel is still surveying his options, and it's still a matter that will require time and energy. Does he? Does it? He still could make his. He still could play against the Americans, so because I think he made a good impression. And he's actually in Europe, so I think it would be a great opportunity for him. Simon, what do you think about Greg Lee? I think he made a good performance against Saudi Arabia. Hopefully, we can see him again. Decent player. I think he was played out of position in the first game, played his natural position in the second game. And I think a player that can give Kemar Taxi Lawrence some real competition. Greg Lee is more of the attacking sort of left wing back, sort of. And I think you're going to need depth, especially in the fullback positions, because to play 14 games and 3 games in the space of 8, 9 days, it's going to be demanding on our players. So you will need squad depth. You will need options. I don't expect him or Taxi Lawrence to play 90 minutes in all 14 World Cup qualifiers. So that's why I think we need him. And also it keeps Kim or Taxi Lawrence on his toes as well to say, there are options behind you. So put up your socks, whip in those free kicks, whip in those corners, score some goals, because there's a man right behind you that is hungry and he has talent and willing to challenge against you. So, there you go. Are we only going to play one friendly? Yes, we're only going to play one friendly. As we know, Spain is still not a safe place right now for Catalonia, so I'm not sure what's going to happen there. If there's going to be another postponement, or if the Jamaica Football Federation has to give back the money that the Catalonian FA gave. So we'll see. Giovanni da Silva says acquiring these players would be great for the national team, but what you said now just right. I agree that it may seem a bit hard to believe, but patience is key right now. It's the reality. That's what we need, because until a player gets a passport in his hands, there's you shouldn't celebrate. You don't celebrate until that is done and dusted. Dion McKinsey says, "Hey Simon, how are you doing? I'm for the players, but I think they're asking for too much. It's ridiculous." Well, I'm not sure what you guys have been seeing in the media, but the $8,000 figure is inaccurate. It's not true. The specific figure is just a shade more than what they agreed on for the Saudi Arabia friendlies. So, yeah. How good is Liam Moore? Physically imposing, decent with the ball at his feet. If there's an area that I think that he has room for improvement in, it's with his left foot. But he's a player that will add something special to the program. Bollicker, I've spoken about Kevin Lambert each and every single Thursday. I've spoken about his value to the program. I've spoken about Kevin Lambert's being way too good enough for the United Soccer League. I've spoken about Kevin Lambert to play a key role in the World Cup qualifiers. I did a video last month or 2 months ago about Jamaica's potential squad for the World Cup qualifying campaign. And I had Kevin Lambert, especially for our away games, because we're going to need a physically imposing presence and we're going to need an individual that can win back possession and give the ball to the more creative players on the park. So that's why I think that Kevin Lambert is going to have an important role in the campaign. Lambert is going to be key, absolutely. Lambert, Michael Hector, Isaac Hayden, if it comes through Daniel Johnson, if he plays at a deeper position, that quartet of individuals will all have a role to play. Yeah, Kemar Taxi's goal. Did you see that? Amazing. What about Keita Taylor from Arsenal? Well, guys, the thing with Keita Taylor Hart is just like him and Javon Anderson, they're doing their own independently. They're getting their Jamaican passport independently. So it's not being done through the Jamaica Football Federation. So it's not a guarantee for a call up, but the players doing it out of their own pocket, out of their own right to go and get the passport. Balagar, I have never ever dissed the Jamaican born players. Do we have a national Premier League right now? Do we have a national Premier League right now? No, we don't. And if you look back at my squads that I've used for the World Cup qualifying, the predictions that I've made, look at the Jamaican born players that I think have to be part of the program. You would see that I have the captain in Andre Blake. You'd have seen Alvas Powell. You'd have seen Kemar Taxi Lawrence. You'd have seen Shamar Nicholson. You'd have seen Deva Orgil. You'd have seen quite a number of those individuals, Leon Bailey in particular as well. Orlando Aarons was even born in Jamaica as well. So if you look back at those videos that I made mention, you'd have seen that my squads, and in particular 11, have a balance of 6-5, like 5 Jamaican born players or 6 English born players, or vice versa. Me, this Jamaican born players? No, not at all. The only thing you've ever heard me diss is the local league and its structure and its ambition to be professional. I've spoken at length and I've been livid and irate about this matter because I know how things are done locally. I've never ever dissed local players. I've dissed the local product, but I've never dissed local players. But guess what? At the end of the day, what do I feel? I feel the best team should take the field. If you don't want that, then you clearly don't want to go to the World Cup. Well, Mikhail, you would have signed 7,000, but the reality is that's not true. That's not true. And Balakar, that is not true. Coach's desk did not say that because I watched the video. So that is a lie. Massive lie. I spoke to Coach's desk as recently as a few hours ago. Yeah, much appreciated, Coach's desk. And Coach's desk, Coach Minzy, I'm sure you'd have seen the comments as well. So you and I had a conversation, a day ago? So I'm not sure what is being said in the comments, but it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, What do you mean? What happened to the players that are playing in Europe, MLS? Shamar Nicholson will still be part of the program. So will Andre Blake. So will Alvas Powell. So will Corey Burke. You want to go through more names? So will Kevin Lambert, Junior Flemings, Deva Orgil. Yeah? Tyreek McGee. Yes. Joby McAnuff is the interim manager at Leyton Orient. Yes, he is. Well, the 7K figure is not accurate. Omar Holness, says Troy Holness. Omar Holness is still with Darlington FC. Omar Holness is analysing his options. He has some interest up north in Scotland and a couple of teams in England, I think Chesterfield and Boston United. So at the end of the season, he'll make his mind up and see how things go from there on in. Mr. Man, are you referring to Marvin Morgan? Canada. He has to prove it. He has to back it up, you know. Marvin Morgan started his international career like a house on fire, didn't he? It was something. It was quite something, I tell, because going to the Caribbean Cup in Martinique and yeah, but things just didn't progress as it should have. So hopefully now it'll be a scenario where he's in Canada, he does well. We'll get into the starting 11s for the USA game later in this month. Devin Johnson says, I hope the JFF have come to an agreement with the players so going forward they can start planning some proper training camp. Well, training camps have happened locally, but with local-based players, you know, with the likes of Luca Levy and Kemal Malcolm, but Kemal Malcolm has no players out there. Haven't been knocking at their agents' doorsteps every day saying hello in Trinidad, in USL, in San Marino, in Malta, because they haven't played football in 1 year. 1 week from now will make it 1 year. What about Anderson from Lazio? Javon Anderson, like I made mention earlier, Javon Anderson and Keto Taylor Hart are doing their passports independently. So not through the JFF, but them taking up through themselves and in their pocket to do it. Any interest from the JFF regarding Emil Smith Rowe? No, he's not on their target. Yeah, so Emil Smith Rowe, I think he's going to be an English player. I think he's going to be an English player playing for England, but you never know. You never know what the future can bring. So one day at a time, and we'll see how things progress on. But Reggae Boys fans, thank you very much for tuning in for yet another Thursday evening of Reggae Boys commentary. Thank you very much for all your comments. Yeah, I was testing out StreamYard to see what happens and the makeup of it. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it's the hotel that I'm in, why the internet is in and out, but we'll see how things progress from there on in as I make my traveling. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary, like this video, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at SimeyP93, and the YouTube channel as well. Reggae Boys Commentary closing in on 8,000 subscribers, guys. We're pushing for 10K. 10K by the Gold Cup, 10,000 subscribers by June. So please tell your family, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your auntie, tell your uncle, tell your wife, tell your girlfriend, tell your dog, tell your cat, tell your gardener, tell your granny, tell your great granny, tell your friend, tell your boss, everybody. All right, guys. So be in touch, and on Instagram it's simon.preston, so you can follow me over there. All right, guys. And just before we go, Emil Smith Rowe has Jamaican grandfather. So yeah, we'll head over to IG, simon.preston. All right, guys. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Cool.